Hi, my name is Wieke Schrakamp. I am marketing communication manager at IJsfontein. It's an Amsterdam-based studio that we develop playful learning. And we're at VU conference this year. I'm really excited about that.
And how does the nature of video games and the repetitive nature of video games help with those types of projects, whether it's in VR or a serious game?
It's a lot on motivation, and I think what can really add to learning experiences is you can really practice things. So normally games are really good at making a translation between knowledge and, for example, caring for someone in healthcare. So if someone has a delirium, for example, that's one of the topics I'll be talking about. If someone has a delirium, you have to be able to help that person get a grip on reality. And the problem is if you know exactly what a delirium is and you know what you could do about it, that doesn't mean you can translate that into actually recognizing actions you could take to reduce a delirium. And that's really something that a game can add.
What impact has the ubiquity of the Samsung Gear VR, the Oculus, upcoming Quest, all these portable VR devices having on your work?
Well, we mostly use the HTC5 for our projects.
Okay.
We have used Oculus, but we like the freedom of being able to, giving people a sense to, or the possibility to walk around a little bit, explore a little bit. It's always better for immersion. And a lot of projects that we're doing in VR, or that are done in VR and healthcare, are really about immersion. So I think that's why the Vive is really a popular choice.
Well, even the Vive is definitely consumer grade, right? So it wasn't that many years ago that VR was super, super expensive. Have you seen that directly impact the use of this by consumers for serious games and serious VR?
No, I think I think costs are not really the issue right now when it comes to healthcare. I think it's mostly if you're using this, if healthcare professionals have to use it, you need to convince them that they have to use it, or they have to understand what the added value of it. So I know a lot of I've talked to a lot of people in the healthcare industry in the Netherlands, and there are a lot of people that say, well, our organization, we have an HTC5, it's somewhere over there. And well, I think there's one guy who knows how to operate it. So yeah, I think the bigger problem, it's not really the cost, it's getting people to be able to use it. Because it looks very scary to a lot of people, right? And it's not, it's a consumer project. It's easy to set up, but I think it's just too intimidating for a lot of people that really aren't used to it. And it makes sense. I mean, they're totally right, but I think that's a big challenge for us right now.
When it comes to your studio, can you talk a little about the dynamic between people that come from the traditional video game industry and people that are coming specifically from the healthcare and how you guys work together?
Yes, we're an agency, so we have our clients are people from the healthcare industry, and we always work as a team. So they're not just dumping a problem on our plate and they leave. We really work together as a team. Sometimes they'll just come to our office every day. So yeah, the teams are integrated, and we do have a team within our company that is more specialized in healthcare, or they do more healthcare projects. So over the years, now they're really familiar with the healthcare system, and it's really funny. We have one guy. He's a strategist at our company, and sometimes doctors will come in and say, well, he knows more about some of the topics than people in our organization. So we do have a lot of there are a lot of people who know a lot about healthcare, But we really need those doctors and the people, the patients to make products, because we can't do without them, obviously.
Can you talk a little about the jump of VR with full immersion versus what was done before VR, and how that's helping people maybe quicker than if they didn't have the VR as an option?
Yeah, what's interesting is that a lot of projects that we did before, so many of those clients, they came back to us now and they said, well, we want to do the same thing, but now can we do it in VR? So for example, we did a whole installation for dementia to get healthcare professionals, but also family members who help, their sick relatives, to understand what a dementia is like. So they go through a whole experience in a physical room where everything is really confusing, and we secretly switch doors, so people where they just came in, through the front door, and then when they try to leave, they open the door, it's a toilet, right? So we have that, and that's something that we could easily do in VR, obviously, and that's what we're doing.
Can you give us a sense of the global nature? I know you're focused on Amsterdam, but are you seeing other countries adapt VR in similar ways, and are your programs going outside of that country?
Ours not. I hope so soon, because a lot of formats, you always have to localize, but I think that a lot of formats can be used and should be used outside of your country, because it's, if you have the concept and you have everything, then it's often a matter of money to get to localize it to things and to really adapt it, and that's the problem. Our clients usually have budget for one project, and we're an agency, and we need to click better with with investors and see how we can make this bigger. And when it comes to VR in healthcare, there's so many researches or studies going all the time in VR in healthcare. Also, I see a lot of studies done on the same topic, which is great, obviously. For example, for pain relief, VR for pain relief, there's so many studies going on right now. And I hope that they all talk together. It's good. I think it's good that people are all doing it, so we get really a broad view of what it's like. But as long as we can bring it together a little bit and then learn from each other, I think that's great.
A big part of anything when it comes to health is, like you said, studies. Have you guys been doing this long enough that you have any examples of how VR is helping people quicker than if they didn't have VR? Any kind of statistics to back up these types of things you guys are doing?
Not yet. We have, because the problem is that these researchers are really expensive, and in healthcare, at least we have, because we work in so many other sectors, but at least in healthcare we have, people have to know if it works, right? They can't just mess around and then we'll see what happens. It doesn't work in healthcare, so that's actually why I really like that area for that field, is because they really want to know if it works, and we do this. We also obviously want to know if it really works. So now we're doing it, or at the University of VU University of Amsterdam, they're doing a big effectiveness study, and what we hope is that for the depression tool in VR, we hope that it can eventually reduce the number of sessions you need with the therapy, because you really bridge the gap between the therapy and the homework, so you sort of merge that. So I can't give you any figures on that, but I hope to be able to do that. I hope to do that in a couple of months, but it'll take a while.
When it comes to these types of programs you guys are creating in VR, is there a future also that right now, especially in the US, it's all about different drugs for depression and different things? Is VR strong enough, you feel, in the future that VR sessions would replace the necessity for pharmaceuticals? Or it's more of a complementary thing?
Right now it's definitely complementary, yeah. Absolutely. It's even complementary to the therapy sessions. It's not a standalone thing, not yet. I don't think there's any... they're doing a lot of goal things in exposure therapy. That might be one that can really, really grow to be more like a standalone sort of thing. But now in depression, at least, it's really complementary. Yeah.